let's take a look at your market news now. Asian stocks were mixed today. Hong Kong stocks rebounded from a decline in the previous session. China's shares were largely flat as investors await policy support details from the National People's Congress this week. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index climbed 1.7%. The Shanghai Composite Index edged down 0.3%, and Japan's Nikkei was flat at the close of trade. Over in the United States, Wall Street indexes closed lower on Tuesday with weaknesses in the mega-cap growth companies such as Apple and chip sector weighing on the Nasdaq. Apple shares came under pressure after research showed iPhone sales in China fell 24% year-on-year in the first 6 weeks of 2024. This as Apple faced increased competition from domestic rivals such as Huawei. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was 1.04%. The S&P 500 lost 1.02%. And the Nasdaq Composite dropped 1.65%. Locally, the JSE was mainly firmer at midday. The all-share index has added 0.6% to 72,700. The Industrial 25 index point is 1.3% higher. Financials are 0.6% up, and the precious metals and mining index is 1.6% lower. In our currencies, the rand is trading at 18 rands 89 to the US dollar, 24 rands at 3 cents to the pound sterling, and 20 rands at 55 cents to the euro. Britain's FTSE 100 has gained 0.4%, and the CAC 40 is 0.2% up, and the German DAX is slightly higher. Looking at commodities quickly, gold is trading at $2,125 and platinum is at $886 per ounce, while Brent crude oil is at $82.44 a barrel. Shaun Dendere is a senior sales trader from Trive, South Africa, and joins me now via Zoom. Shaun, thank you so much for joining us once again. Let's take a look at, firstly, yesterday. Yesterday was a big day in terms of local market news. GDP increased 0.1% in the last quarter and slightly higher at 0.6% for the year. But when you look at the fact that South Africa is, Africa's biggest and most industrialized economy, this is surely not enough to start putting together all the things that are not working in the economy, such as job creation. What are your thoughts?
Firstly, thank you for having me. I think that, the GDP results were quite positive off the back of last year being really tough for the economy with high inflation and high interest rates, right? So just like, global markets and global economies, they've also been affected by, the same issues such as inflation and interest rates. It is low for, Africa's most industrialized economy. However, at least we are avoiding a recession. We are seeing a rebound in our mining sector. We've also seen some positive results coming through from the likes of ShopRite, Nedbank yesterday. So there are tough times ahead from a GDP perspective, and we just got to wait it out to see what happens with global economies at large and issues such as load shedding and political uncertainty as it is an election year this year.
Yeah. From your company, what are your predictions when you look at GDP growth for 2021, given what we already know with the trajectory of GDP? What are you at Trive predicting?
So we are seeing GDP not going above the 1% point as it stands. We're seeing that inflation in South Africa is still a bit persistent, which is putting pressure on consumers with the interest rates that are really high. So we're not seeing any potential change in the short to medium term.
Yeah. Let's talk about the RMB-BR business confidence that measures, confidence levels among business people. It has also still stuck at a very low level. I can imagine because of all the logistics constraints, because of the load shedding that you mentioned, business people obviously are not feeling very optimistic. What's your take on these, on this latest index?
I think the index is a sign of the times. We're looking at the consumer and how they are surviving in this environment. And there isn't really anything positive per se that we are seeing, especially on the fact that, last year was tough. We are being negatively impacted by, load shedding. We got, the rail issues at our ports. We also got crime and, once again, political uncertainty. So there's a lot of things that we know we need to realign and readjust before, consumer and business confidence increases. I think the business environment in South Africa currently, it is quite tough. Hence, the knock-on effect is that, consumer index being quite, confidence being quite low.
Yeah, before we go to company news, Shaun, I just want to get your thoughts about yesterday. Also, there was that petrol price that was announced of R1, more than R1. Also, diesel prices, also R1, a blow to motorists, wouldn't you say?
That is a massive blow to motorists. Despite the rand slightly coming in stronger now, we see that oil as well itself is on quite a positive rebound. So the oil price is increasing, which definitely affects our petrol price then. And then, in the larger picture, it is also going to affect our inflation rate. I think there is quite a massive correlation between the petrol price and the inflation data that comes through in South Africa. So once again, goes back to what I was saying regarding the outlook, that, the outlook isn't looking too positive as it stands.
Yeah. Let's go to some company news. Mastec, they've reported some hefty decline in headline earnings per share, which is obviously the measure of profit here in South Africa. Nearly 59%. Tell us more about this company and why we should care about these results.
So Mastec really is one of the biggest ICT companies in South Africa, providing technology to different industries, including government industry as well. And these results are quite concerning as a leading ICT provider in the country. However, they have also been reeling from the tough business environment last year. Looking at, once again, load shedding, high inflation, high interest rates. But from their side, they are seeing a slower demand in greener technologies, so such as solar, UPS devices, etc. And for me, in my view, it's purely because, their market is slightly becoming saturated. And at the same time, there's only so much, solar as you can buy for individuals or businesses at large. So that is quite concerning. They do have a positive outlook in that, with the AI drive that we are seeing globally with the likes of NVIDIA, they're looking at the fact that, there's going to be a growth in demand for AI-based computers. And hopefully that really does work out for them, because these results are not the greatest result to be witnessing.
Yeah, they're definitely not the greatest. Shaun, thank you so much for your analysis. I've been speaking to Shaun Dendere. He's a senior sales trader from Trive South Africa, speaking on the market. He was our market analyst for today.